Most business owners are working harder than ever and growing slower than they should be. And it's not because they lack talent, it's because nobody gave them the actual blueprint. Today, I'm going to change that. 12 strategies, 4 areas of the business, and when you stack them together, growth starts to feel like it's almost unfair. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Business Growth Talks. I'm Mark Hayward, and today's episode, I'm going to be really revealing how you're able to grow your business and scale your business fast. Because we're talking about scaling, not in a vague theoretical way, but 12 specific strategies that, when you put them together, can transform how fast your business grows and are genuinely fast. That kind of fast when you're looking back, almost it feels like you're cheating. Now, I want to give credit where it's due. A lot of what we're covering today is inspired by Dan Martel, who is an entrepreneur and author of Buy Your Time Back. If you haven't come across him yet, look him up. His framework for scaling is one of the clearest that I've ever seen. What I want to do today is take those ideas and walk you through how they apply to real world running and growing businesses. So we're going to break this down into 4 parts: generating cash, creating predictability, mastering your time, and building and empowering a team, and scaling those sales and retention. So let's get into part 1. Strategy 1, focus on cash, not on perfection. This is one I see constantly. Business owners waiting until everything is perfect before they start selling. And I want to be really direct. It doesn't need to be perfect. I always think of a book that someone I know called Rob Moore wrote, which is Start Now, Get Perfect Later. And this is perfect for this kind of idea. Just get going. The moment you start selling, you start selling to a stranger, not a friend or a favor, but someone who you didn't know last week and now genuinely wants to pay you. This is the moment you become an entrepreneur. And here's what matters beyond that: upfront cash, not invoices, not receivables sitting in a spreadsheet, actual cash in your business, because that's where funds start and where you can start hiring. You can then start investing. You get to your next stage of growth. So get selling before you're really ready and get paid up front wherever you can. Strategy 2, make people feel almost silly to say no. Most business owners are selling deliverables. You've got 6 sessions, a strategy document, a follow-up call, and people don't buy deliverables. They buy transformation. They buy the outcome on the other side. So start there. Lead with what the changes are that you can do for them. And then make sure you offer has 3 ingredients: urgency, and real urgency, like a small team that can only take a limited number of clients. Could be scarcity, being specific about who you work with and why. And risk reversal. If someone does the work and doesn't get the results, what's your guarantee? The one thing alone removes the biggest objections most buyers have. Strategy 3, building a marketing system, not a marketing plan. Plans look great on paper, don't they? Systems actually get things done. And the simplest way to build a system is what I'd call the camcorder method. Whatever you're already doing to generate leads, record yourself doing it, narrate it, capture the processes. Then turn it into something repeatable: a short internal course, a daily schedule, a 7 to 10 step checklist. Your business can grow so that your business can grow with your team, because that's what creates predictability. That's what gets you out of that feast and famine idea. So I've just explained there, these are the things that are really important that you need to start thinking about. Predictability, making sales is so important for your business. So make sure you're doing that up front. You're selling to people that you don't know. Make sure that you create processes that mean that you can just repeat them, whether they're marketing or sales, and create that scarcity, that urgency, so that people feel that they need to buy and they need to buy now. The second part I want to talk to you about is mastering your time. So, strategy four, we're going through this strategy of 12 strategies. This is strategy four. Audit your day. Now, this is one that I found most uncomfortable, but it's one of the most valuable things you'll do. Track your time to every 15 minutes for 2 weeks. Write down what you're doing and how it makes you feel. Anything that drains your energy or highlight it, because those are the things you need to get off your plate. There's also a calculation I love here called your buyback rate. Take your annual income target, divide it by 2,000, your average working hours, and then divide by 4. That number is your threshold. Never do tasks that cost less than that rate, because you should be buying that time back and reinvesting it into the things only you can do. Strategy 5, rebuild your calendar. Once you've freed up that time, don't let it just disappear into admin. Reinvest it. Block out 10 to 15 hours a week specifically for revenue generating activities, sales calls, lead generation, high value conversations. And here's a practical tip. Schedule your hardest tasks around your natural energy. If you're sharp in the morning, that's when you do your creative thinking and your strategic thinking. Protects those hours fiercely, because your best thinking is your most valuable asset. Strategy 6, delete the bottlenecks. Here's one that transforms how a business operates. It's called the $50 fix. You empower your frontline team to spend up to £50 or dollars to solve a bottleneck without asking permission. Team leaders get $500 or pounds, managers get 5,000, and senior leadership 50,000. What this does is remove you as a decision point for every small problem in the business. And when you're not the bottleneck, the business will move faster. It really is that simple. Right, strategy 7. This is in the building and empowering your team. Replace yourself, starting with an EA. Your inbox is not your friend. Every email you respond to personally is time you're not spending on growth. Hire an executive assistant and give them your inbox and your calendar. Done properly, this buys back 10 to 15 hours a week immediately. And I know what some of you are thinking, I can't afford that yet. But frame it differently. Can you afford not to do it? Because the time you're losing to admin is time you could be spending on things that generate 10 times that return. So just think about that. Strategy 8, increase your talent velocity. Draw out what your organization chart needs to look like 12 months from now, based on where you want your business to be. Then work backwards. Which hire unlocks the most amount of time first? That's your next hire. This changes the mindset from I'll hire when I can afford it to I'll hire strategically based on what I need to grow. And this shift is going to be huge for you. Strategy 9, pay for the blueprint. This is one straightforward thing to do. Money likes speed. Stop trying to figure everything out through trial and error when someone has already walked the path you're in. Hire a coach, buy the program, get a mentor. I've done this myself, and it has actually transformed the speed at which things can happen, because you'll skip the expensive mistakes and go straight to what works. So invest in coaching, invest in the right tools, and invest in developing your team. It will compound. So we go to strategy 10, which is around scaling sales and retention. Remove your retention. You've probably heard the leaky bucket analogy. You're pouring new clients into the top, but they're draining out the bottom. And no amount of new business fixes that problem if retention is poor. The most powerful thing you can do here is create a quick win for every new client within the first 48 hours. Something tangible, something that makes them think this is absolutely the right decision. because the feeling early on is what keeps people. It's what gets referrals. It's what builds lifetime value. Track your churn weekly. Know your numbers and look at where in your journey people are falling off, because that's where the fix is. Strategy 11, scale sales without it being about you. This is a big one. A lot of business owners believe deep down that nobody can sell their services as well as they can. And maybe that is actually true. But if it is true, you will always be the ceiling of your growth. The answer is to document your sales process, every stage, every objection, every response. Track your best sales calls, build talk tracks, create scripts, and then train commission-based salespeople on those recordings. Because if you can articulate what works and why, then you can then teach people how to do it. And when you can teach people how to do that, it can scale. And strategy 12, stay in the zone of genius. This is where it all comes together. As the CEO, founder, leader, your job ultimately is three things: vision, money, and people. Vision is asking what should exist in the world that doesn't yet. Money is making sure the business has capital it needs to grow. And people is making sure you've got the right team around you to execute. When your daily work feels like genuine expression of who you are and what you're best at, then when you know you've built something real, that's the end goal. And every strategy you've talked about today is a step towards getting there. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. That was a fast track 12 ways to be able to scale your business. So that's it. That's all of them. Generating cash and building predictability, mastering your time, building a great team, and scaling your sales with retention. None of this is complicated, but it does require you to be honest about where you are right now and what you need to change. If today's episode has got you thinking, I'd love you to continue that conversation. Connect with me on LinkedIn or head over to Podcast Introduction, where you can book a discovery call on how we can help you grow your business using podcast guesting. Thank you so much for the time being here. I really appreciate your time. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.